The week was great. Today, Dan and I were just talking earlier, just kind of a little bit about life in general and stuff. And we were talking about, how there's all of this information out there about how to add more income streams, different ways that you can make money, whether it's on the internet or side hustles, whatever. So, what can you do, if you want to start creating some, whether it's either passive income or some additional income streams just to supplement your income. And we're going to talk a little bit about some ideas on how to do that. But, first off, and Dan, I'll have you jump in, but first off, maybe if you're someone who doesn't have a whole lot of extra money laying around to get started in investing, maybe you start by getting a side gig, or if you really enjoy the work that you do and you're able to take a course or improve your skills and get a pay raise, maybe that's one way to start. But Dan, let's talk a little bit about, some ideas, maybe just speak to that, what I just said. And then for more of people who maybe have money that they don't know is available to use, and how they could get started in some different investments.
Yeah. I think you titled this just adding income streams, and even, additional income streams, right? So it doesn't mean you got to leave what you're doing. If you're, if you got a job, I would be also looking at ways, how do you maximize the income where you're at? How do you add more value there? But then when you get extra income, what are you doing with it typically, right? Unfortunately, most people, they get a little extra in the paycheck and they buy a new TV, and then they, upgrade the car and they increase the car payment. Like it's hard enough today with the rising prices of everything to stay afloat. But so what you do with your money is going to dictate how you get ahead. So to Ben's point, we would teach people to separate that additional income stream when you start creating it, save it in a place that you have access to, and then over time, take the extra money and put it into something that pays you. So create an additional income stream, right? So I always just put the challenge out, like, what if you could just add like an income stream every year, one extra income stream, right? Maybe one income stream gives you an extra $500 a month, right? Now you fast forward 10 years and you got an extra $5,000 a month, right?
Yep.
That's pretty cool, right? The 30-year game plan to save and build wealth turns into a 10-year game plan to be financially free potentially, right? And I'm not saying 5,000. What if it's $1,000 a month, right? What if it's, more or less? But make sure, first is the idea, set the intention, increase the income, save it in a place you have access to, and then position it into something that pays you. But to your second point, like maybe you've been paying off your debt and you've been saving into your retirement accounts and you got a little bit of money saved up. We might teach you how, not saying you have to do this, but how you could unlock some of that money, how maybe you could reposition your debt and free up your debt faster so you increase your cash flow. And if all this stuff doesn't make sense, this is kind of what we do day in and day out. But maybe you reposition your retirement accounts so you can actually invest them into something that pays you, right? And that's kind of the high end of this story, right? Like, instead of the typical advice tells you to accumulate assets, save your money into this account and don't touch it until you're old and want to retire, and then hope that it's a big enough pile to that you can spend it and not run out of money. I'll kind of fast forward to the end of the story. Like, the stats show it's not working. Like, people aren't retiring with enough money. They're scared they're going to run out of money. and the beneficiary is like the financial institutions in the government, right? You pass away and then you have no plan for taxes. So I don't know. We just unpacked a lot of stuff, but like while you're building the wealth, try to think about income streams. How do we position our dollars so we increase income streams and get to a point maybe where you have more income coming in than all your expenses? And that creates financial freedom. So anyway, throw a bunch out there, but what are your thoughts, Ben? I mean, you're
Yeah.
kind of going through that. I mean, we're all going through that. We're constantly going through that, but you
Mhm.
was starting, you're under 2 years into kind of a new business venture, and it's ups and downs and all around, but
Right.
what is working well for you, and what have you learned along the way?
I would say just something that came to mind when you were talking about that is, it feels good, it looks good when you have a big number, uh, whether it's in your retirement account or your house is worth X amount of dollars or you have so much money in the bank, whatever the case is, it looks good on paper, but in reality, what is your net worth doing for you? If it's not paying you an income stream, then it's not really doing anything for you. So cash flow over net worth. I would rather have cash flow than just a big pile of money and net worth. But I would say, what's been working. I'm at the point right now where I've invested a lot into my growth to increase my income, and get to the point where once I have extra income, then I can go and partner with Dan on some wholesale deals or some single family home rental holds, or there's a lot of different people that we know that do that type of stuff, and then I can go after some of those assets and get started. So in my journey right now, if I'm talking to myself even a couple years ago, I would probably tell myself, hey, start getting some skills, start building an income stream on the side with those skills. It doesn't mean you have to quit your job. That's not for everyone. I think a lot of people glorify, escaping the rat race, the 9 to 5, but in reality, I don't think that's for everybody to get out of the 9 to 5. Some people really enjoy what they do. So not saying it's right or wrong, but if you can create that additional income stream, invest in your skills, and then start going after some of those investments like Dan's talking about, then over time, then you can choose what you want to do. If you want to keep working at 9 to 5, change to a different 9 to 5 you like better, or start your own business. Just having that freedom. So I guess that's the message I probably would tell myself 2 years ago.
Yeah, and you brought up, you said the word enjoy and the jobs you like and stuff, and I was just listening actually to something Gary Vee was talking about, and I think Steve Harvey asked him, what the keys to success are, and he was going, hard work. Like you're not going to find a wealthy person that doesn't have a good work ethic. He was like, hands down. But he also went on to say, like, but you're also, everybody knows a really hardworking, good work ethic person that is not wealthy either.
Yep.
And so you gotta kind of put the pieces together. And Gary Vee's thing is like, don't be afraid to like switch jobs. Don't be afraid to up and like pivot if you're not feeling like you're enjoying anything. Like, he was saying like the top earners of the world, and I'm not saying that's everybody's goal, but they're not going to get there or stay there very long if they hate what they do. right?
Mm-hmm.
He gave the example, if your mother really wants you to be a lawyer and you become a lawyer and you're making 400 grand a year, like you might absolutely hate your life,
Yeah.
right? Like, so, but the top lawyers that do really well, they love being a lawyer, and that's great. So it's not like it's not like there's a profession that's bad, but I think, as tying it back to your title today, like, don't be afraid to add an income stream, maybe that brings a little joy to your life, brings you some challenges and excitement, and don't just chase money is kind of the goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't stay in your current job just to chase money. Like, that is literally the exact opposite of what we're told to do in the Bible, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
add stuff that challenge you, that teaches you, that helps you grow, and kind of fills you up, right? There's a lot of stuff in my day that makes zero money, and I'm not saying that's a good thing long term. It's just it's a challenge, right? It's a service. It excites me. It's something I got to learn and grow and overcome to get to the next level. And
Mm-hmm.
it shouldn't always be driven around just making money.
Right.
So, yeah, good stuff.
No, that's good. So if you're watching this and yeah, wanting to get some additional income streams going, if you need ideas, if if you have money and you have investments and maybe you're not sure how you can unlock some of those and potentially invest in some other things that can bring you additional income, shoot us a message. We can always get on a call and see what your situation is, and give you some feedback at the very least. So
Yeah, I was on a webinar this morning talking to people, and we literally don't charge people to have a consultation call or even take them through the process if they want to. We definitely don't push a rope uphill. We're not going to encourage you to do something that you don't want to do, right? The process we're going to teach you, and a lot of times our clients, they have funds, they have life, they have cash flow, but they're following misinformation that keeps them trapped. So we try to teach them ways to unlock money, to reposition money, and to get them in a position where they have money, right? And so, two things: we don't charge, and anything we recommend or show you is no out-of-pocket expenses. Meaning,
mm-hmm.
if you're putting money here and here and here and doing this thing, you have strategies in place, but we'll measure them and then measure, hey, what if you switch this or don't do this and put it here, here, and here? We'll measure and show you, wow, you got a chance now. You got more money, you got more savings, you got assets, right? So just throwing that out there, like, anytime, kind of a plug for us. I've been doing this a while, and if I do my job right, about halfway through the meeting, you go, hey, how do I pay you? That makes me feel good. And at this stage of our life, we don't charge for our time, right? There might be implementation strategies you choose to do, right, that we get compensated by the companies we have to use, but it never comes out of your pocket. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully, if you have any curiosity of what that looks like for you, just reach out to Ben or myself, and we'll get on a 15-minute intro call to find out a little more about each other.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Dan. Everybody, have a great weekend.